Children, let us solve the part B, chemistry part of the science model question paper second, given by Karnataka Secondary Education Examination Board. Now, the seventh main question. 4 alternatives are given for each of the following questions in complete statements. Choose the correct alternative and write the complete answer along with its letter of alphabet. 2 questions are there, each of 1 marks, that is a multiple choice questions, totally 2 marks. That is the 14th question. The name of carbon compound. Here it is a carbon compound given, CH2O, and the structural formula is given, and its name is methanol. It is a ketone and its name is methanol. The answer B. Answer is B, that is methanol. Next, take the 15th question. Observe the following stages of extraction of metal from its ore. Here sulfide ore, and there is a empty space, reduction and purification. Here we have to fill the empty space, the process that has to be done in the empty space. Here we have to find out. Option A, electrolysis. Option B, calcination. Option C, roasting. And option D, oxidation. And you know that the sulfur ores are roasted and then it is reduced. So the option C is the answer. So right, answer is C, roasting. Answer is C, roasting. Now the 1 mark question, short answer type question. What is strong acid? 16th question. What is strong acid? So what is strong acid? Acid that gives rise to more H plus ions. More H plus ions are said to be strong acids. Acids that gives rise to more H plus ions are said to be strong acids. That is the answer for the question number 16. What is a strong acid? Acid that gives rise to more H plus ions are said to be strong acids. Next, state modern periodic law. What is the statement of the modern periodic law? Modern periodic law can be stated as properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic number. What is the statement of modern periodic law? Properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic number. Then the next question, 18th question. The metallic property of elements increases down the group in the modern periodic table. Why? So the answer is that down the group, the effective nuclear charge experienced by electron is decreasing. Down the group, the effective nuclear charge experienced by electron is decreasing, and the tendency to lose electron will increase. As the effective nuclear charge experienced by electron is decreasing, the tendency to lose electron will increase. So the metallic property of elements increases down the group. Metallic property means here the tendency to lose the electron increases down the group. So the metallic property also increases down the group. That is the answer. Then what is substitution reaction? What is substitution reaction? Chemical reaction in which one type of atom or group of atoms, one type of atom or group of atoms takes the place of another, is called substitution reaction. Here one type of atom or group of atoms is replaced by the another type of atom or another group of atoms. Here or the atom or fractional group of one compound is replaced by the other functional group. That type of reaction is called substitution reaction. So you write that chemical reaction in which one type of atom or group of atoms takes the place of another is called substitution reaction. Then 2 marks questions. 3 questions are there. So the 20th question. What is the 20th question? The compound C2H4, C3H6, C4H8 and C5H10 are in homologous series. Why? And write the general name and general formula for these carbon compounds. So the compounds C2H4, C3H6, C4H8, C5H10 are in homologous series because they are having same functional group with different chain lengths. Why these are in homologous series? These are in homologous series because they are having same functional group with different chain lengths. Here chain lengths are different from one atom to another atom of this series, but they are having same functional group. General name of these carbon compound is alkenes. They are the alkenes. Their general name is alkenes and their general formula is CnH2n. Their general formula is CnH2n. Here you observe, here 4 is a double of 2 and 6 is a double of 3 and 8 is a double of 4 and 10 is a double of 5. So generally you can say that the general formula of alkene is CnH2n. This is the answer for the 20th question. Now question number 21, 21st question. What is that question? The atomic number of an element is 20. Atomic number of an element is 20. In which period of the modern periodic table could this element be placed? Why? How will you decide whether the element is a metal or a non-metal? So it could be placed in the 4th period. The atomic number of an element is 20 means this element can be placed in 4th period. Why? So you know that to find the period of an element in the periodic table, we have to count the number of shells in an atom. Number of shells in an atom of the element. Now, if the atomic number of an element is 20, it is having 4 shells. It is having 4 shells. Here which are the shells? K shell, L shell, M shell and N shell. And the K shell is having 2 atoms. Because it is having only the subcell, yes, its capacity is 2, so it is having 2 atoms. And L shell is having S and P. So the capacity of S cell is 2 and capacity of P cell is 6. So 6 plus 2, here 8 elements. L shell is having 8 elements. M shell is also having 8 elements. Even though it is having S, P and D, but here only S and P are filled up. So it is also having 8 elements. And N shell is having 2 elements. That is the valency electron. So as this element with atomic number 20 is having 4 shells, this element is placed in the 4th period of the modern periodic table. 4th period of the modern periodic table. Next, here the answer, you got that answer is here. It is placed in the 4th period. Why you got the answer? This one. And next, how will you decide whether the element is a metal or a non-metal. You know that metallic property decreases from left to right. We know that metallic property decreases from left to right across a period. This element is on the left hand side of the period. Therefore, you can decide that it is a metal. And this element is calcium. You know it already, it is a calcium and it is a metal and it is on the left hand side of the period. Now you come to the question number 22, 22nd question. Why is metal oxide called basic oxide? Name the products obtained when copper oxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. Here there are two sub-questions in the question number 22. The first part is, why is a metal oxide called a basic oxide? So you write the answer that metallic oxides react with acids to give salts and water, similar to the reaction of a base with an acid. You know that base reacts with acid to give salt and water. Similarly, metallic oxides also reacts with acid to give salt and water, as they reacts with acid just like a base. So you can say that metallic oxides are called basic oxides. And you write the reaction, metallic oxide plus acid gives salt plus water. Similarly, here in the place of base is there, when base reacts with acid to give salt and water, that you can mention. So next here, the next part is, name the products obtained when copper oxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. So you write that when copper oxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, the products are copper chloride and water. Products are copper chloride and water. So CuO, that is the copper oxide, HCl, that is the hydrochloric acid, gives CuCl2 plus water. CuCl2 plus water, that is the reaction what takes place when copper oxide reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid. These two are the product you write. That is the answer for the 22nd question. But here there is a choice question or question. What is that question? The test tube A contains distilled water, test tube B contains acidic solution, and test tube C contains basic solution. How could these samples be identified using red litmus paper? Here three test tubes are there, and one is containing the distilled water and other one containing the acidic solution, and the third one is containing the basic solutions. Here we have to use the litmus paper. You know that distilled water is neutral to the litmus, and in acid the litmus is in red color, and in base the litmus is in blue color. So you know that here what you have to do, make 3 pieces of litmus paper and dip in each test tube. Here what you have to do, divide the red litmus paper into 3 parts and dip each part in 3 test tubes. So here you observe the test tube containing the acid, that gives the red color only. The red litmus remains red litmus only. But if it turns blue, then you can conclude that is basic solution. So the test tube in which red litmus paper turns blue, the test tube in which red litmus paper turns blue contains basic solution. So you can note that the test tube in which the red litmus converts to blue litmus, red litmus converts to blue color, and that solution is basic solution. and the blue litmus paper so obtained is dipped into the remaining two solutions. Here one solution is recognized that is a basic solution because the red litmus is converted into blue color, so you can conclude that is the solution is basic solution. And take that blue litmus and dip into the remaining two solutions. Here the blue litmus paper so obtained is dipped into the remaining two solutions, the one which turns blue litmus paper red again, that is acidic solution. So now you can recognize the acidic solution. You know that acid converts blue litmus to the red color. So the litmus converts to red color in the acidic solution. So the red litmus converts blue by the basic solution. Take that blue litmus and dip into the remaining two solution, and the solution in which the blue litmus is converted into red litmus, that is acidic solution. And third tube in which there is no change of color contains, that is a water, that is a distilled water. In this way you can recognize the sample by using red litmus paper. That is the answer for the OR question. Now let us come to the 10th main 3 marks question. 3 questions are there, each carries 3 marks. Now the 23rd question, draw the diagram of the arrangement of the apparatus showing the reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid and testing hydrogen gas by burning. Label the following parts. Zinc granules. Children, draw the diagram which shows the arrangement of the apparatus for the reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid. Reaction of zinc granules with dilute sulfuric acid and testing hydrogen gas by burning. See here, this is a zinc granules, it is shown here, and you label this. And next, delivery tube. This is a delivery tube, this is shown here, and know that the hydrogen gas which liberates, you know that hydrogen is a burning gas and it catches fire when candle is brought near the hydrogen. Burning of hydrogen gas with a pop sound. Draw this figure. That is a figure of 3 marks, and we have to label this zinc granules. Zinc granules and delivery tube, it is shown here. You know that when metals reacts with acid, hydrogen gas will be liberated, and this can be tested by bringing the burning candle near the hydrogen gas. So hydrogen gas burns with a pop sound. Here you observe the burning of hydrogen gas. Now the 24th question, it is a choice question. The first question is, explain the properties of carbon due to which it forms a large number of compounds. Explain the properties of carbon due to which it forms large number of compounds. And the second, the choice question is, explain the cleaning action of soaps. Now let us answer the first question, that is the properties of carbon due to which it forms large number of compounds. So you take that carbon has 2 unique features. Carbon has 2 unique features. First one, it has a property of catenation. It has a property of catenation. Second, it is tetravalent. Its valency is 4. It is tetravalent. The above 2 properties enables carbon to form a large number of compounds with varying size, shape. The above two properties enables carbon to form a large number of compounds with varying size. Here size and shapes are different. Next, right, carbon has the unique property to form bonds with other atoms of carbon, and carbon atoms have long chains or even are arranged in branched or rings. Here carbon atoms can arrange in long chains. It can be arranged in branched chain or ring chain. Carbon atoms in its compound are linked by single, double or triple bonds. Carbon compounds can be formed by single bond, double bond or triple bonds. Then according to it, it is said that it is tetravalent, means carbon has a valency of 4. Since carbon has a valency of 4, it is capable of bonding with 4 atoms of carbon or 4 other monovalent elements. Monovalent elements like chlorine, etc. Then also you can write carbon atoms are also bonded with oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine, nitrogen and sulfur, giving rise to compounds with specific properties. Typical of the elements other than carbon present in the molecule. So here carbon can form large number of substances because of all these properties. So here we have explained the properties of carbon due to which it forms large number of compounds. That is the answer. Write the answer here. Yeah, carbon has two unique features. It has a property of catenation. It is tetravalent. The above two properties enables carbons to form a large number of compounds with varying size, shape. Carbon has the unique property to form bonds with other atoms of carbon. Carbon atoms have long chains or even are arranged in branched or rings. Carbon atoms in its compounds are linked by single, double or triple bonds. Since carbon has a valency of 4, it is capable of bonding with 4 atoms of carbon or 4 other monovalent elements. Carbon atoms are also bonded with oxygen, hydrogen, chlorine, nitrogen and sulfur, giving rise to compounds with specific properties typical of the elements other than carbon present in the molecules. Now you explain the cleaning action of soaps. So you write that soap is a sodium or potassium salts of long chain carboxylic acids. So write that first sentence, soap is a sodium or potassium salts of long chain carboxylic acids. Soap is having ionic end and hydrocarbon end. Soap is having two ends, one is ionic end and hydrocarbon end. The ionic end of soap interacts with water and hydrocarbon end interacts with oil and dirt. The ionic end interacts with water, hydrocarbon end interacts with oil and dirt. Soap molecules thus form structures called micelles. One end of the micelles towards the oil and dirt and other end is facing towards outside, and the other ionic end faces outside. This forms an emulsion in water. The soap micelles thus helps in pulling out the dirt in water. This is about the cleaning action of soaps. Now the question number 25. Draw the diagram of the apparatus used in the electrolytic refining of copper. Label the following parts: cathode and anode mud. So you write the apparatus to show the electrolytic refining of copper, and it is a cathode. So you write it is a cathode, and anode mud is here. This is anode mud. Write that anode mud, it is a impurity. It is anode mud. So write about this is anode mud and this is cathode. This rod is a cathode and it is anode and it is a anode mud. So label the parts cathode and anode mud. Now the 11th question, it is 26th question. In the 11th mean, explain the formation of the ionic compound magnesium chloride with the help of electron dot structure. And the B, write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction of aluminium metal with steam. It is a 4-mark question and 2 sub questions are there. First question is, we have to write about the formation of the magnesium chloride, which is a ionic compound, that you have to explain it with the help of electron dot structure. So you write formation of magnesium chloride. Formation of magnesium chloride. So write step 1. The first step, here what happens, Mg means magnesium. So write magnesium, the symbol is Mg, loses 2 electrons and becomes magnesium cation. Magnesium cation. So you write that Mg, it loses 2 electron, it becomes loses 2 electron, becomes Mg2+, that is magnesium cation. Then step 2, you write this is a magnesium cation. Write that this is magnesium cation. Then you write step 2. In step 2 what happens? Chlorine gains that 2 electron. Chlorine Cl gains that electron. Here one chlorine atom gains 1 electron and it becomes Cl minus. That becomes Cl minus. Here you can write that, you know that the electronic configuration is 282. So it becomes 2 8 and here first plus 2 electrons are there, and chlorine electronic configuration is 287 and it loses 1 electron and becomes Cl of, right, 2 8 and 8. Here as it gains 1 more electron, this also becomes +1 and becomes 8. And here you can observe that this is Mg ion and this is chlorine ion. And here one chlorine atom gains 1 ion and another one chlorine atom gains the other ion which is remaining in 2 electron. That is, one chlorine atom gives 1 electron and the other chlorine atom gains other electron and it becomes 2 Cl minus electrons. So you take here Mg 2+ attract 2Cl minus becomes MgCl2. MgCl2, that is Mg2 plus Cl minus Cl minus, that is nothing but MgCl2. So you can write it as Mg, that is 2 electrons in its outer, then Cl and this electron comes to another chlorine atom, you can write it here, that as a dot, and you will get Mg2 plus, and also it is Cl it is an ion, minus, you can write minus so that is nothing but this is MgCl2, this is Mg2 plus and Cl minus 2 ions combines to form MgCl2. This is the formation of the MgCl2 with the help of electron dot structure. The next one is write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction of aluminum metal with steam. Now let us write the answer to this question, that is write the balanced chemical equation for the reaction of aluminum metal with steam. When aluminum metal reacts with steam, metal oxide, aluminum oxide and hydrogen will be formed. So you write that when aluminum metal react with steam, aluminum oxide and hydrogen will be formed. Aluminum oxide and hydrogen will be formed. So write the reaction that Al, that is solid, aluminum metal is a solid, reacts with water H2O, that is in the steam form, so you write it as gas, gives aluminum oxide Al2O3, that is also solid, plus hydrogen. So it is a skeletal chemical reaction. If you want to balance it, you write it again, once again you write plus H2O gas, that gives Al2O3, which is a solid, plus H2. Here the biggest one is Al2O3, which is a large molecule having more number of atoms. Here O3 is there, so you can balance it O atoms by multiplying it by 3, so it becomes 3H2O, and here H2 is there, then also you can write here 3H2 means here also you write 3H2. Then Al2 is there, so you can write it as 2Al. Al. Here you got that aluminium 2 in both reactant side and product side. And hydrogen 6 atom. Here also 6 atom. On the reactant side it is 6. On the product side also it is 6. Next oxygen O3 is there, 3O is there. So write oxygen 3,3. So you got a balanced chemical reaction, balanced chemical equation, that is 2Al plus 3H2O gives Al2O3 plus 3H2. It is a skeletal and it is balanced. This is a balanced chemical reaction, and in the both the cases this is hydrogen is a gas. You write that this is a gas. It is skeletal, this is balanced. So that completes the chemistry part.